with silence, but my actions speak very loud. My mama's very proud the way I made him hear me out. I said I do this till us carried out, till I'm in the cemetery buried. I'm running the necessary routes.
Classified, always great to talk to you, man, because I know you always got great music. You're always giving back. You're helping artists in your area. You're helping artists around the country. I always said, man, it's like you were the godfather of the coast artists and stuff. Like, you're always giving back, man. I got to ask you before we start talking about how you're giving back with this great event, how are things going? Like, where are you exactly? How are things up in your area? Because I know, man, we're like in the red zone here in Toronto and Ontario.
Yeah, well, I'm down in Enfield, and we were killing. Well, I shouldn't use the word killing, not the best word to use these days, but we were doing great for about 3 months. Then our cases went back up to, still not that scary, but 130, and now we're back down in the 50s. So we're doing pretty good out here.
50s. Oh man, I wish I could hear that. I mean, we're close to the 2000s where I am, so
yeah,
it's scary. Like, how have you made out throughout this year, man? Not being able to tour the way you used to, and not being able to connect with family and fans. How has it been for you personally?
It's been, honestly, man, it's been tough. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so used to booking my days or my weeks and months around like tour dates and shows, and that's kind of how I break things up, because other than being on the road, I'm usually sitting at home in the studio or hanging out with the kids, which is great, but it's just weird. Every day's like Groundhog Day, just like we were just saying. You can kind of wake up and you take it day by day, and I do notice that when I'm at my best and not focused on what's going on and being down is when I'm in the studio and creating, and that's been my savior, just to be out here and be able to still, just create. And I never noticed that was always my saving grace for the last probably 20 years, is having that outlet. So, it's great that way, but, I can't wait to see my daughters play basketball again. I can't wait to be able to, pile the car up with a bunch of their friends, take them all to the movies, and just get back to that normalcy. I think, I hope we don't forget what that's like. So when we can get back to it, people are still interested in going out and aren't just set in their ways of sitting home on the computer and, trying to get by like that, which I think a lot of people are, which, makes sense because we can't do anything.
Yeah, it does make sense for now, but I do realize, especially this year, I know for myself, one, I didn't think I would ever miss red carpets the way I do. I miss the one-on-one interviews, even though it's a pain in the butt carrying my equipment around, whatever else. But those 15, 20 minutes, whatever moments, make such a huge difference. Being out in shows like yours and connecting with people. And as much as we are doing a lot of this virtual stuff, man, virtual is not the same as being, even if standing there in a crowd that's hot and sweaty and seeing artists like yourself projecting your energy, and we're projecting back. There's nothing like it, man. That's energy. That's love, man.
Totally. And I think that was one of the biggest things this year that we've learned, is to appreciate those things that we might have taken for granted a lot of times. And now it's like, geez, the things I would do to get back to doing some of that stuff that, might not seem like the funnest stuff or the perks of the job are the things that I'm missing a lot.
Absolutely. But, a lot of folks that we know are going through tough times in the industry that we love so much. And you are part of something that is coming up with some amazing artists who are going to be giving back and helping, again, not just the folks in front of the microphone, but people who set up the microphones, the people who set up the shows, and so forth and so on. What are you part of, my friend, and when is it happening?
Yeah, and that's what I'm more, the Unison in Canada. It's basically a bunch of artists doing some virtual performances, and we're using it to raise money for the industry. So like you said, it's not necessarily for people like me or, Jim Cuddy, Blue Rodeo, who's also doing this. This is more for, our tour managers, our the guys who are setting up the microphone, the guys who are booking the venues, the promoters, all this. Because none of them have been able to do anything for, almost a year now. And, as much as we hear about the artists, most artists, if they're smart with their money, I'm sure they did all right this year and they're not struggling too hard. But there's a lot of people in the industry that are. And, this is what this event is about giving back to them guys, the ones that have been helping us behind the scenes and all that stuff, and doing what we can to help those guys out. People
don't realize that with Unison, I mean, I'm used to this time of the year, they have a massive holiday Christmas party that happens in Toronto that I go to every year, and it raises a lot of money. Of course, this is not happening this year, so this is one of the reasons why this virtual show is happening, to help raise money for these folks. And we also forget, too, and something I always want to remind people, that it's great when we come down to support artists like yourselves, but people forget that, you know, we walk into a venue, there's this great stage that's set up, and you don't really think about it because you're just waiting for the artist. But there are people who have driven from one city to another city who get there, put all this stuff up. You guys do these amazing shows, and then when we go home after the show, we either go get a quick drink, or we go home to sleep, to get up the next morning. We get to sleep in. These folks have to tear the stuff down, pack it all up again, and then head to the next venue to do it all over again. And we forget that these people are part of all of this, and it's not just them; it's the folks who help set up these shows, and it just goes on and on and on.
100%. And like you said, a lot of people just don't think about those people because they're not the people that they see on the stage at night. But, you know, for someone like me who's been touring for 10, 20 years, like there's the bus drivers, there's the tech guys, the sound men, then there's the booking agents who, you know, they're the ones coordinating it. But there's so many people behind the scenes that, you know, just are kind of forgot about. And those are the ones that I think are getting hit more than anybody this year, you know, when there's no industry. And a lot of venues aren't coming back. And, you know, it's a sad time. So anything we can do to help out, I'm all in.
And, you know, you just said it, too, because I know in Toronto we've lost some major venues that have been around for years and have hosted some of the biggest Canadian and international acts ever. And, you know, they're gone. And when we just talked about all these people, you know, the booking agencies and, you know, producers, all these people, there's the other factor that you actually mentioned as we talked about in the beginning of this interview. They've got families. They've got kids, and they're trying to make sure that they got food on their table also.
100%, you know, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's frustrating because you see a lot of people arguing about masks and going out and this and that and what they want to do. And a lot of those people also have their jobs, still making money. So, yeah, it doesn't really affect them. But they got to turn around and kind of see all these people that it does affect and go, okay, whether or not I agree with the coronavirus or COVID or what it's doing, you can't deny that it's affecting people's livelihoods. And, you know, there's people that are completely out of work and, like you said, have kids, all this stuff. And it's like, you know, let's keep our opinions to ourselves and make sure we just recognize that people are in a shitty spot because of what's going on. And we should all be doing our best to get back to some kind of norm.
Amen to that. So one more time, when is this event happening?
That is this Thursday, and I think it's the 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be good, man. A lot of different acts on it, a lot of different types of music, and, you know, just the vibe of sitting around with your family and, you know, watching, like, you know, this concert. I think it's going to be a fun night.
Great way to give back and great way to represent Canadian music too. Look, before we wrap this up, just very quickly, how are you going to be doing the holidays this year? And also, are we looking at new music in 2021 from you, sir?
Holidays are going to be the same way I've been spending my last 6 months, at my house with my kids. I'm lucky because my parents live close by. My wife's parents are close by, my brothers and sisters. So I'll still be able to see my family and stuff like that. And then for the new year, yeah, I got a book coming out. We wrote a book for the last 2 years. We've been working on this book, just kind of about my career, my come up, tour stories, and all this stuff. And then I also have an album coming out with that. That's an acoustic album of songs from my catalog. So, and that's coming with a tour as well, like an acoustic, me on my drum machine, my guitar player, my keyboard player, sitting down performance. Very different from what I usually do, but excited, man. We did a couple shows like that before COVID hit, and it was really like a refreshing, more personal type show. So excited for that.
Man, I'm so looking forward to all of that. Who knows? Cross fingers, when you have a book, maybe there's a documentary we get a chance to see.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Anything could happen. Look, my friend, I just want to say thank you so much for being part of this great event. Thank you so much for all the interviews that you've allowed me to have with you over the years and the great music. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the best to you and your family in 2021, and cross fingers, man, after we all get the shots and hopefully things start clearing up, we can do another interview, but instead over the phone, it is one-on-one in person. I'm so looking forward to that, man. Because the last time we did that was, I think it was almost like a year and a half ago at here in Toronto at the Sirius XM station. So.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I was thinking it was the Junos in London, but yeah, I think that was after, so that would have been the last one.
Yeah. So cross the
Rudy, I can't wait to do this face-to-face, man. Hopefully sooner than later.
Be safe, my friend, and we'll talk soon. Merry Christmas. Take care.
Merry Christmas, man. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.